The light of the Klein bottle grew exponentially, and then fired a hologram of a three-dimensional representation of a four-dimensional sphere over onto the table. It warbled and spun and folded into itself. Edmund said,
"Well then, we're making this thing a sort of dualist loop of two halves of semantic filtration blankets that exploit the solution illumination powers of the fat tornado clocks. Two stepping stones with each leading to the other and no way out."
He pulled a dagger that was a jagged shard of mirror with a brass handle from his belt and sliced into the center of the hypersphere. He pried the hypersphere open and separated the halves. Tubey, ethereal tendrils from each half reached across the void and reconnected with the other half. Tabitha Carroll said, "Yes, I love this plan. With each half of this puzzle, or each stepping stone, as you said, there's a lot of metaphor mixing going on here, and I guess this metaphor mixing is necessary because to fully explain this blanket we're weaving is to not destroy the blanket, and it's like explaining a joke, acting as a non-orientable surface that brings you right back to where you started, while also making you feel like you've accomplished something. Making one feel as they progress across the stepstone toward the edge which leads upward onto the other that, my God, yes, this is the solution illumination I've been searching for. Only to have the process start all over in a subtly varied form down one of these tubes. A sort of individualistic solipsistem treatise that we will write and then release upon the Patasphere. And we'll call that one Tractatus Lorem Ipsum Actualitas, leading to a collective solipsism treatise that we will also write and then release upon the Patasphere. We'll name that one Actuality Investigations, which leads back to the Tractatus, which leads back to the investigations, and so on and so forth. It's so funny how in 30 or 40 years besmirch and muckrack laws are going to virtually disappear, and all outlets will morph into gossip corners. In the eyes of the last fundamentalist, literalist, finalist, Euclidean/Aristotelian holdouts, the amount of controversy generated will equal the amount of truth inherent. I mean, some of it will be true, but some of it will be false. Sorry, I'm not very eloquent at the moment. I am no sophist. I am so very stoned. What I'm trying to say is this failure to see little nuggets of bad within the large planes of good and the little nuggets of good in the large planes of bad will be one of the major spirits of that time. What I'm trying to say is that the middle way is going to disappear for a decade or so while people lose their shit within the realm of societal mutation anxiety. Some of it will be the good kind of shit losing. Some of it will be bad. But there will be no distinguishing and deciphering until the dust of societal mutation anxiety rests. It will be a tiny little dark age. But it will pass, and a new and positive enlightenment will come. What did Dr. Boughton say? Untethered neophobia leads to untethered neophilia, which leads to a type of fundamentalism. And untethered neophilia leads to untethered neophobia, which leads to a type of fundamentalism. Again, one day warm rationality, cool debate, and toasty under the good quality blanket while it's snowing outside diplomacy will return once the new technologies are no longer seen as new and become boring. Once new technologies, which are always seen as having some sort of demon living inside of them during the technology's infancy, grow up and all the bugs are worked out, this new tech will become old and boring and will no longer be seen as tech. Sorry, I'm not expressing myself very well. I am so very stoned. What I mean is technology is only called technology when it's very new. And when it's very new, it seems very scary. I'm trying to say everyone is acting like children. I'm trying to say is everyone is acting like children on every side of the spectrum, and every which other way. And I can't be mad or upset at the embarrassing and maddening and asinine and underdeveloped thoughts and reactions, Because this is just how people act during civilization paralysis. And when I say civilization paralysis, I don't mean that civilization is literally ending and everyone is losing their societal contract-ass selves. What I mean is this is just the way the hurdy-gurdy of humanity acts during times of great change. So why be upset? Paralysis will roll back around to thesis, and a slightly tweaked and slightly improved cycle will begin again. This is the final death knell of the million-year-long age of muscle power, and we just don't know what to do with ourselves. LOL. But don't fret. A cold fusion AI-powered, fully automated world in which no one has to work, and hobbies and happiness can be fully pursued. But a word of warning. Independent thought and individuality within the framework of the collective must return. And the GSN state corporate nexus mind control apparatus must be dismantled. Adam Levi said,
Say, that's a great idea. Totally random and incredibly minor thought in the grand scheme of things. But if I was British pop goth singer Slorison, I would say all kinds of wild stuff too just to fuck with people and prank people. Why has the corporate press become the new godhead? And why do peepers believe the corporate press is the same as the free press? It's funny how the left used to be weary of the corporate press, surveillance, the government, multinational corporations, greed, linguistic mind control, but now the left is all about that. They still claim that they're not about that, and they change some of the names around, but they do seem to secretly love the corporate press, surveillance, the government, celebrity culture, multinational corporations, greed, and linguistic mind control. I think this is why millennials talk so much shit about boomerangers. Because they're upset that they ended up being just like boomerangers. That's why I'm a bigger fan of Zen W. Although I think generational separation categorization conspiracy as well. But anyways, NW understands that it's all bullshit and that cash rules everything around us and anything and everything insanely widely discussed is connected. Either through top-down intervention or more likely rhizomatic interfacing. To the several hundred patriarchal dickheads at the top of the world's pyramid. Like I always say, it's that simple complicated. The last and most advanced of all the focus states associated with the indie lit fantasy experience involves movement outside of the boundaries of space-time consciousness as in Focus 15, but with attention to discovering the bions of the book rather than the words. The reader-author who has achieved this state has reached a truly advanced level. Except in unusual circumstances, it is probably not attainable except by those who have conditioned themselves through long application of meditation or by those who have practiced long and hard through the use of hemisync tapes for a period of months if not years. The media, paparazzi, and fans speculated about Slorison's sexuality for 30 plus years. Is he gay? Is he straight? Is he bi? It's like, go fuck yourself. I would cancel shows and do all kinds of pranky shit like that. It's like in interviews, whenever MTV correspondents would ask Cobain how he was doing, he would say, well, I hate myself and I want to die. Because the MTV correspondents were fishing for that. And Kurt understands Capra's laws of interviews. So he started fucking with interviewers. Most interviewers are fishing for soundbite drama and ethos pre-selects and servo-mechanistic, heuristic, analytical overlays. The media likes bloody, disgusting things because bloody, disgusting things generate greenbacks. Sometimes they do it in subtle ways. Sometimes they do it in not-so-so ways. If I was Cobain and I had to put up with those vain-ass belief systems, that BS, I would say all kinds of silly, crazy shit. Sorry about my lack of eloquence. I am no sophist, and I'm very stoned right now.